Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about this guy. This is Carlos Watson, who was the founder of a media company called Ozzy.
Okay. I don't know. Never heard of it.
Anyway, he was an MSNBC news anchor.
Oh, of course he was.
A talking head. And now he's going to prison.
Oh.
For fraud, because they said he basically, the whole thing was a fake it till you make it scheme. He was actually inventing contacts and phone calls and emails with fake personalities to trick investors into giving him more and more money for this. It must be pretty serious because a lot of business people do bullshit like this, fake it till you make it, but he's going to prison for it. And this is a guy who just not too long ago was being lauded that he was. Carlos Watson is an intersectionality evangelist. He'll make you a believer too.
Well, he was on MSNBC, so yeah.
He was on MSNBC. Yeah, he was a political commentator on and CNN too.
Sorry.
And he graduated from Harvard and Stanford Law School. Did he really, or did he make that up too?
No, I'm sure he probably did.
So
that's easily trackable. So
yeah, so this is back in 2021. They love this guy. And it turned out that he was a big scammer. So let's talk about this. This is the first time I'm reading this. I read through it a little bit, but he's going to prison for.
You're good until you mess with the people with money, and then you get punished.
Pretty much, right? Yeah, if it's just the plebs you're effing over, that's fine. If you're effing over multi-million-dollar investors, you're going to prison. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to clownfishminus.com, please, and help support the channel. No, we're not trying to embezzle $10 million. It's a couple of bucks a month. It'd be very helpful. Thank you very much. You can also get this content out at clownfishtv.locals.com as well. So, let's see here. I think The Wrap broke it. We got a version from The Independent. Actually, The Independent is interesting because this is a left-leaning outlet, and they're taking this guy to task. So maybe we'll do this one first. Former TV host Carlos Watson gets nearly 10 years in prison in case about failed startup Ozzy Media.
So what did he do?
Okay, former talk show host Carlos Watson was sentenced Monday. Now, they're not mentioning, are they mentioning his MSNBC and CNN ties?
Don't know, but I just want to know what he did.
Yeah. Sentenced Monday to nearly 10 years in prison in a federal financial conspiracy case that cast his once buzzy Ozzy Media as an extreme of fake it till you make it startup culture. Ooh. So extreme that another executive impersonated a YouTube exec to hype Ozzy to investment bankers.
Oh, did they go to jail too?
I don't know. Well, Watson coached him, prosecutors said. So this guy's 55. He's not getting out until he's old enough to retire. The defunct company, Watson and the defunct company were found guilty last summer of charges, including wire fraud conspiracy. He's denied the allegations. Watson, who's been free on $3 million bond, faced a mandatory minimum sentence of 2 years in prison and potentially as much as 37 years.
He got 10, almost 10.
It's still a lot of... Prosecutors accused the former cable news commentator and host of playing a leading role in a scheme to deceive investors and lenders by inflating revenue numbers, touting deals and offers that were non-existent or not finalized, and flashing other false indications of the company's success.
So what it sounds like to me, and I don't know this, but what it sounds like to me is dude got in over his head and then started making up shit because he was in over his head. Is what it sounds like to me.
I'm thinking. I mean, I get it because, we watch some of these, like the Food That Built America. I know you get sick of me talking about the Food That Built America, but you see...
You haven't done it lately, so you're good.
It's been a couple of months. I think I'm allowed to talk about it. You see the hustle that went into, the hustling that went into starting some of these food companies. I'm thinking Taco Bell off the top of my head. I'm thinking, because that was a whole case of fake it till you make it. The guy who started...
because he was paying people to come in.
He was paying people to be, oh, look, you're a successful Taco Bell franchise owner. I'm gonna give you a bunch of money and make sure you flash that money around so other people jump on board.
You tell people that's what you're making all this money, and
right,
they want
multi-level marketing.
Yeah,
basically.
So, but yeah, it would not probably fly today.
It would not fly today, but this is back in the '60s, and it worked. It worked. Taco Bell's still around, right? They said,
gorditas again. Anyway,
What's
but only
that?
the beef. Where's the chicken ones?
So our daughter, who's fascinated by the 90s.
No Baja sauce.
Yeah, there were no Baja chicken gorditas. They just have the beef. But she loves gorditas. She's like, I don't like Taco Bell, but I love gorditas. I'm like, why the hell did you take them off the menu? Gorditas were like the best thing they ever made.
McDonald's, this is completely unrelated, but they took off the wraps for years and everybody kept saying we want the wraps back. And you said they're coming back next year. So
they are coming back next year.
Hallelujah. That's was my favorite thing. Anyway, continue.
We had wraps longer. We had wraps longer than other people.
Apparently we did. But I love them. You converted me to the wraps and then they got rid of them. So, but back to the point, because we keep doing this.
Back to the point, because Taco Bell is more interesting than this guy. Anyway,
honestly, yes.
The quantum of dishonesty in this case is exceptional, said the U.S. District Judge Eric Committee, telling Watson, your internal apparatus for separating truth from fiction became badly miscalibrated.
That's a nice way of saying it. You lied a lot.
Okay, Watson says because he's black. Watson blamed any misrepresentation on others, said he was a target of selective prosecution as a black entrepreneur in Silicon Valley.
Did you lie? Did you have all your people pretend to be executive from YouTube and all that crap? Because if you did, it has nothing to do with you being black. It has everything to do with you being stupid.
Yeah, I loved what we built with Ozzy, he said in court Monday, initially addressing supporters in the audience before the judge suggested he turn around. He portrayed himself as a founder who put everything he had into his company, saying that he took an average salary of around $51,000 from the company in its final years. Yeah, has triple mortgaged his home and drives a 15-year-old car.
Dude got in over his head and then didn't want to lose everything. So he thought, well, I mean, in my opinion, thought that, if I, do this and that and I get people to jump into the boat, it'll be okay. And then, then something else happened. Oh, if I get more people to jump in the boat, it'll be okay. It's probably what happened.
Yeah, that's how
do you triple mortgage your home anyway?
I don't know. So the co-founder, Samir Rao, and former chief of staff, Susie Han, pleaded guilty and are awaiting sentencing. They both threw him under the bus. They
probably got a deal.
Probably. So it was founded in 2012, so it was around for a while. It was styled as a hub of news and culture for millennials.
Never heard of it.
With a global outlook. Well, they produce shows for Oprah, I guess.
Well, that tracks.
He said, yeah, he has an impressive resume. He has degrees from Harvard and Stanford. He should know better. That's why these places just teach you how to be more clever about doing things you shouldn't do. But that's another case. That's another video entirely. He worked on Wall Street. He worked at CNN and MSNBC. This was his second startup. So the production company produced TV shows, newsletters, podcasts, and a music and ideas festival.
Oh my God, it's a fire festival.
Oh my God.
Music and ideas festival.
So we're watching Parks and Rec now with the kids. We're going through Parks and Rec. And this reminds me of the startup that they had that, like, what did they do exactly? And they couldn't tell you what they actually did. They just spent a lot of money. They had, basketball players and it was big. Yeah, it was such a stupid thing.
So wait, Watson hosted several of the TV programs, including the Emmy-winning Black Women Own the Conversation. If it was about black women, why was he the host?
Well, they were producing it. But yeah, it was...
No, it said he hosted.
Oh, he did host it. Okay, yeah. I don't know.
See, here's why he's in trouble.
Because he didn't have to pay somebody else to host it, right?
No, but here's why he got in trouble. He's got big advertisers, clients, and grants. But beneath the outward signs of success was an overextended company that struggled and disassembled to stay afloat. So, yeah, I'm telling you, in my opinion, it seems to me that dude got in over his head and he was like, shit, I have to hurry up and scramble and make it look like I'm doing better than I am to, keep it going.
So, yeah, the company, strained to make payroll, ran late on rent, and took out pricey cash advances to pay bills, said the former finance vice president. Meanwhile, they gave prospective investors much bigger revenue numbers than it reported to accountants, according to testimony and documents. Well, that's how these companies do it.
I like to say that's rare, but it's really not.
WeWork, the WeWork documentary was a great example of this, where it was all about like just faking it until you find a sucker to come along and give you a bunch of money. Because the exit strategies always sell the company to some idiot and it's their problem.
So some companies will even, tell their own people to fudge the numbers or to move things around in ways that probably are questionable legality, just to make the company look better than it is to sell it or whatever. Yeah.
So this is coming from the Wrap. I noticed that The Independent, and I think it's partially because of their political leanings, they're not ripping into the guy as much as they could. They've actually got the U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Breon Pace, said that Watson's plan was an audacious scheme to rip off tens of millions of dollars from his investors. His incessant and deliberate lies demonstrated not only a brazen disregard for the rule of law, but also a contempt for the values of honesty and fairness that should underlie American entrepreneurship.
But let's be honest, if you're a big company, they don't usually care about much about honesty and fairness.
Basically, he got caught. Right?
Yeah.
Other companies are doing that all the time, but he got caught. On far too many occasions, Watson chose deceit over candor, grasping for the illusion of business success and personal acclaim at any cost. Today's sentence should serve as a warning to those who would engage in fraud that justice will be swift and certain. Well, it's not that swift because the company collapsed in 2021. It took him 3 years.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the court system. It's never very swift, especially if you're someone who has money.
So their COO, Samir Rao, had impersonated a Google executive on a fundraising call with Goldman Sachs.
Exactly. Okay, Goldman Sachs. Why are they getting, why is he getting in trouble? Because he went after big people.
Watson, who is a former MSNBC anchor, and his lawyers claimed that any fraudulent activity was the fault of other employees. He testified that he did not intentionally pad the revenue estimates, but presented a typical financial profile for a scrappy young company. This is like all these media companies. And this is what we talk about all the time, that a lot of them are just trying to stay in the game as long as they can until they find an exit strategy, which is a buyout. And they pad their numbers. And like BuzzFeed, it's the same. I guarantee you start ripping apart BuzzFeed, the mistake that that they made was pretending to be a Google executive, calling Goldman Sachs and asking for money.
Yeah, because that's what got him caught. That's what sparked the FBI investigation.
But I guarantee you, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on with companies like BuzzFeed and all these other, because they're all doing this because they're all collapsing. They're all collapsing, and it's all about just staying in the game as long as you can until somebody bails you out.
Here he said the prosecution witnesses said otherwise. They said that he gave misleading claims of commitments from major players such as Oprah Winfrey and Live Nation Entertainment. And the Justice Department reiterated on Monday that he went as far as to direct Aussie employees to create fake contracts.
Oh my God!
That gave the impression of potential investors that the outlet had more backers than it did.
Wow!
On multiple occasions,
No, go ahead. You can read.
On multiple occasions, when faced with questions from lenders or potential investors, Watson and his co-conspirators assumed the identities of and impersonated actual media company executives to cover up their prior fraudulent misrepresentations, according to the Justice Department. Whoa! Holy crapola! And he's only getting like 10 years.
Up to 37. Well, he probably figured 37 years. He'd probably be dead by then. The guy's 55. So, we'll give you another 10, 20 years to think about what you've done, but it's seriously, this is just colossally stupid. It's so stupid. Why the hell would you impersonate somebody from Google to Goldman Sachs?
That's balls though.
That's balls.
I'll give credit there. That's balls.
So if this had become, I'm going to tell you, if this had become a success story, everybody would be talking about hey, did you hear the story about how Carlos Watson started this company and now it's this big thing? Yeah, he
scammed.
He scammed these people, but go him because that's the American dream, right? And that's what happened with Taco Bell. It was basically a scam at the beginning.
Well, it wasn't. He was trying on his own, and he figured if he wasn't, I wouldn't say scam so much as it was.
Well, he was trying to get people to buy into the franchise,
and they wouldn't do it because they didn't understand it. So he had somebody, according to the Food That Built America. I think it was Food Built America.
Yeah.
That he was supposedly, I think, giving money to somebody to go around.
Go buy a boat, go buy a nice car, and go hobnob with all the people and tell them
you're getting all your money from Taco Bell. You as a franchise owner.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It worked. Yeah, thankfully the food's quasi decent, or it wouldn't have worked, right?
Well, that's up for debate depending who you ask, but yeah.
It was better in the 90s. My daughter
had chicken gorditas then.
You had chicken gorditas.
Sauce.
And you could have a whole meal for $3 back then. It was great. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
There you go, guys. MSNBC anchor going to jail. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.